Hi guys, welcome back to the plot. It's Sunday, May the 12th, is it? Something like that? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm back down here on the plot again. It's been an absolutely beautiful day. I've had a couple of hours at it. So it's been raining solid all week, which gets a thumbs up from me, but it's not so good for the actual gardening side of it. Yeah, so I've been down here. Brassica cage, I'll show you in here straight away. So obviously this was the big project last week. I've just been having a bit of a play actually down here, so I've cut some holes into this weed membrane and just started to put some of my brassicas in. And it might look like not many because I've only got, what, 5 cabbages in there on that side. But cabbages grow big, you know, and I want to get some nice, decent cabbages. So I've done the same down this side with the sprouts. I've put a few more of them in because they're a little bit more vertical in their habit. So hopefully I'll get away with that. Yeah, and then I'm just going to do the same down the other side. I'm going to put some cauliflowers and some kale in there. So, while the brassica cage is a big structure, it's not getting a huge amount in there. I could get more in there. Obviously there's nothing stopping me putting a row down the middle and just tippy-toeing around it. But I think I'm just going to go for quality, not quantity on this one. There's only so much... earthquake. There's only so much that, you know, I can eat, and I'd rather get, you know, some really nice specimens going. Because it's the first year with the cage as well, so it's experimental. I don't want to go and put too much in there, you know, and just like, you know, end up with weak plants or, you know, developing a fungus problem because there's a lack of airflow or something. Yes, so anyway, the potatoes, I'm probably well behind everybody else, but they have just started to poke their heads up, so they'll be getting just earthed over. I don't know if you can see. Oh dear, there we go. Only just starting to show through. I say I'm perfectly happy with that because literally they've poked their heads up, and I think that last night was the last frost. Fingers crossed, but you know, that's what I'm hoping anyway, because it wasn't actually a frost, but it was 3 degrees, so there's a good chance that there could have been a frost. Then the temperature tonight's 5, and then looking for the next couple of weeks and it's rising up to about 10 degrees at night, which is perfect because that's what we want. As soon as we start to get that, I can start to put my tender plants outside. And, you know, short of a freakish late cold snap or something like that, you know, which it can happen, but there's not a lot you can do about it, then everything should be okay. This is, I'll show you on a little, I'll take you on a little just look around. Just been through and weeded this. This is a flower bed. I've left in anything that I recognise, and a couple of things that I don't. I'm sure that that is something, but I can't for the life of me remember what it is. It seems to be self-seeding quite readily, and I'm sure it flowered last year. There's a couple more of them here. I've got a feeling some part of the name was Imperial, but I can't remember Imperial what? Imperial China. No, I don't know. And then the 2 lupins as well. I did notice earlier on that the flower heads are starting to come through on those. There we go. What's this bit here? So that's going to fire, jump forth and give us a nice show of colour, which is nice. And then the other couple of bits, these are a couple of lupin seedlings that have obviously self-seeded. There's a calendula plant there. I think that might be some of the antirrhinums from last year, but then again it could be a pile of weeds, I'm not sure, it's too early to tell. Nothing in this bed here, but I think this year I'm going to be putting maybe my broad beans in this one, because I can get a nice big A-frame in there. That'd be absolutely lovely. And then the asparagus, I've pulled a few, and then that's coming on. We can't have had a full frost because that seems to be looking fairly healthy. Yes, anyway, so this bed now is looking absolutely chock-a-block. What I'm thinking is the garlic, it always surprises me how quickly the garlic ends actually. It seems that you put it in and you're harvesting it before you know it. I think it's usually about June time that I'm taking that out. So what I've done is my hashtag sunflower challenge. Giant single sunflowers have gone down the middle, with a view that by the time I've harvested the garlic, these things will then take over the bed, you know, and I can flip this bed over and get some flowers and things like that in it. So they shouldn't be competing with each other too much. But some of these garlics are looking really, really nice actually. Oh. Some of them are looking weak and spindly and pathetic, but other ones, you know, he's like quite a nice specimen. The lower leaves will go yellow, don't worry about that, that's just part of them dying off. Imagine the outer shell of a garlic is like dry. and they've obviously each layer on the garlic bulb is a leaf, so it's like a layer, so they have to die back in order to create that shell. What are you on about, Matt? Don't know. I've taken a chance here with a couple of my dahlias. They were literally outgrowing. I mean, these things were in like little 3-inch pots, so you know, I've had to whack them out, and they look like pretty much full-grown plants already. Don't know too much about dahlias, I'll be honest with you. Apart from there's one and there's one. That's a little overflow with some of my other bits and bobs as well. Runner beans, I'm thinking about uncovering them now. There are runner beans under there, purely because they're all in flower, and I don't know if they're going to need pollinating or not. I don't know if a runner bean's self-fertile. Runner bean? That's not a runner bean, it's a broad bean. Broad bean. Broad bean. From the genus Broadus beanus. It's not true, but you know. Been through here. I've had a bit of patchy germination actually on my beetroot. This row here must have been some old seed or something, because none of those have really come up. So I'm going to re-sow this row. This one seems to have come up quite well. You can tell the beetroot seeds because they've got a lovely red beetrooty tinge to them. So yeah, I must have thrown quite a lot of seed at the back. There's a big clump of them. And yeah, these beetroot as well, these have not really overwhelmed me. There are enough in there, I think, to sort of grow on. You see there's a few in there, but certainly compared to the amount of seed that I put in, there's not a lot really. These little turnips here, I'll start to thin those out once they've grown on a bit. And what's that? The purple top Milan turnips as well. I'll do the same with those. At this point, I just want to let them grow on, see which plants make it and which ones don't, because you know they can befall all sorts of problems at this point. And what are these? Scarlet Globe radishes. So as you can see, they're all coming on as well. Again, they'll probably be thinned out in the next couple of weeks. And that's another dahlia there that I stuck at the end just because why not, hey? And then also went in Wilco's a couple of weeks ago and they had all of these dahlia plants. That's not a great angle, is it? Look at the sunshine, come on Matt, what are you playing at? No, can't find it, too much sun. But they were 75p anyway from Wilco's. So I've planted those. And as you can see, we've got just a little sign of life here. They're also dahlias. I seem to have lost me. Where are you? Ah, there you are. So, any joy, we'll get something out of that. No joy, and we won't. Mix of onions here, the red onions and the white onions. Seem to be doing alright. It was quite early on in the season, they're all standing up well, they're all doing okay. And lots of nice green growth on them, which is what we want, isn't it? Obviously way too early to think about, you know, pulling them or looking at them or anything like that. You'll know about when they're ready because the leaves will go a bit yellow and flop over. So you'll come down one day and like half of them will all be laying down dead. Not dead, but flopped over. And that's the time to get them out, so... Yeah. Parsnips. I was absolutely determined to get some parsnips this year, so I sowed an absolute ton of them just to try and get the germination, and it seems like it's actually worked off because we'll have a lot. We've got 2 rows. They're interspersed with some other weeds. At this point you can't really get in there to weed them properly. If you have a look down here. So here's the line. The parsnips are the ones that are coming up with the nice thin leaves. Obviously in between there you've got like all of these other little bits and bobs, but they can all come out at a later date. You know, for now I'm just going to make sure there's no huge weeds in there clogging them out, and then I can thin them out later on. How you all doing anyway? Enjoying this time of year? Are you all feeling like you're ahead of things, behind things? You had any disasters or anything like that? Luckily I've managed to avoid any so far. I'm not even going to say about visitations or anything like that, but so far so good on that side of things. It's usually about this time of year that we get the first lot of scallywags coming in sniffing around the fences and sheds and... Anyway. Since since taking the flower heads off the rhubarb, it seems to have come into a new lease of life actually. I've taken the flower head off and the crown started to I was trying to roll my R then, it didn't really work. Erupt forth with fresh growth. So Yeah, these are say I'll leave them. A few more dahlias here as well. What did I have? 15 dahlia plants. So I thought if I put half of them out and they all die, I've got the other half to put out, haven't I? I know they're tender plants, but we'll see how they go. So it's a new one on me. Hopefully we'll get some results out of it. So that's current state of the plot anyway. I'll just go and show you in the greenhouse. Not got the most even of ground here. I quite like it. It's a good workout. Right, there's weeds in this greenhouse, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm letting you all down with my shoddiness. So here, as you can see, I'm growing this lovely sticky willy here, which is that plant that obviously sticks to your clothes. Stick to me clothes, sticky willy. It's that one that you chuck at your mates when you were a kid. Anyway, that's a weed, as is that. That's fat hen. We all hate fat hen. Oh, there's a nettle as well, so that's another weed. Right, anyway, back to the actual stuff that we want to grow. These are the massive tomatoes, I'm hoping. Big beefsteak gigantimos, is it called? They have slowed down a bit since I put them outside, but you expect that anyway. It's only been a couple of degrees at night time. Money makers here, they're doing alright, and these are the yellow tomatoes that I got off the Front Kitchen Garden magazine, and the Gardener's Delight. Now we are about ready to go through and start pulling the suckers off of these for the first time, if I can do it without killing myself. Right, and the suckers are main stem, leaf, it's this bit here, and if you just pull that to the side, it comes off. You want to get rid of these because they will grow into massive long stems, and what we're trying to do is just concentrate the plant on growing one straight single stem. So in between all of those, we're pinching all of those out. It's amazing how quick they can get away from you, these little things. They're a bit small. And again on this one, the yellow tomato. So what we've got here is right down at the base as well. We want to get rid of those ones, so we don't want any extra stems coming down there. And then these ones, oh, they're coming out. Don't mistake these with your flower trusses, whatever you do. There's no flower trusses on these yet, but the flower truss actually comes out of the main stem, and it's not at the intersection of a leaf, so just pull out these little suckers for now. And that'll help the plant concentrate on what it wants to do. I've got a flower starting to appear on this one. It's very, very early stages though, so it's hard to really see. You see those hairy little buds there? They will open up into flowers at some point. Oh, and then turn around. And I'm just going to do the same on this side as well. So, out you come, sucker. Right, and that's the tomatoes ready to fight a little bit longer. They've been doing alright, like I say, they've slowed down a heck of a lot since they've been put outside, but that's just the shock of the lower temperature. They've not been fully frosted or anything like that, so they're not going into any sort of danger. Hello there, you just catch me cleaning up after a very hard day's work. Alright, I'll not be a second, I'm just going to have a bit of a sweep up tied up around the shed. Oh, I'll be with you in a moment. Nice to clean down, isn't it? Now, if I was doing things properly, I'd sweep the floor as well, but whew, I'm not. Yeah, so yeah, that's everything looking nice and tidy. I don't know if I can show you the old shed actually, it's a bit... That's where I've been hanging out a lot since I've had the windows put in. I've got myself a coat hook, a chair that I use for storage, a bench, a stool and a bench. So that's my growing collection of knickknacks and whatsits that I find myself needing on a daily basis. And this is an area which I might end up getting like a big comfy chair for, but then I think I might end up doing more sitting down on the plot than actual working on the plot, which is not always a good thing. I've just sat down there for about half an hour actually before I've decided to get off my bum and do something. So yeah, just to show you around the place at the moment. I put the balance of me brassicas, bit of an accounting term there. I put the rest of me brassicas that were left over from what I didn't put up in tent thing up there. Start again. Cabbage, sprouts, in there, under a bit of netting. I went through all palaver and bother of putting up tent thing up there just to go and put some over a bit of sticks here. But, you know, I'm still happy, you know. So yeah, I've got this this bed down here, that's all prepped for whatever goes in there. It might be my corn, it might be something else. I can't exactly tell you at this stage because I haven't got a foggy clue. They're all planted quite close in there, so they'll probably be some of the first ones to come out, and then the ones out in the big cage, I'll be able to harvest them when they're a bit bigger. Do you know what I mean? Up at top end there, I've still got half an empty bed, and then those two are completely empty. They'll be for me Swedes, me sweet corn, and what else have I got to go out? Gosh, there's loads. Not that I can remember any of it right now. So then, working my way back up here, I've got me parsnips, which have all come up quite nicely, or they've started to anyway. My onions, which are onioning, which is absolutely lovely, I can't complain about that. All my radishes and beetroot and my little turnips, they're going alright. Broad beans in there, they're doing okay as well. They're all in flower at the minute. Shall we have a quick look? I don't know if you'll be able to see through the mesh, but there's a handily placed hole. Like I say, I don't know if I need to take that mesh off in order to pollinate, but I don't know if Bordeaux penises need pollination, I don't know. Some of the carrots as well, you probably can't see, but carrots have got little skinny leaves. Just show you. I don't know how that looked, but a load of those are up. So they're all under cover now. I'm just trying to keep off the, what's it called? Carrots, little buzzing thing, 2 wings. Oh, what's it got? 6 legs. Likes to eat carrots and lays eggs in it. Fly, carrot fly. A couple of dahlias and me gutter peas that I've put out as well. They've been out now for about 4 or 5 days in some quite low temperatures, and they're alright. So I think that is alright. That's pretty much it at the minute. Most of the stuff's going off in the greenhouses still. It's I think it's still too early for me tenders outside. I don't want to stick my tenders outside, rush things, and you know, fall foul of the weather. I'm looking at the weather forecast. Last night was 3 degrees. Tonight is about 4 or 5 degrees. And then the weather starts to, you know, the nighttime temperatures start to slowly increase up to about 10 degrees in a week's time. So I'm thinking if I give it another week, hopefully that'll give us a good indication, because then the long-term forecast I'll be able to see beyond that and see if there's any chance of cold weather. So I think next week, from then, for me, here in Nottingham, chance of frost gone, hopefully, which means that a lot of things can start going outside. You know, I could chance me courgettes and marrows and all the rest of it. So we'll see how it goes next week anyway. Keep an eye on that weather forecast. Let's go into here. I'll show you. Ooh! And it goes a little bit something like this. Cosmos, leeks, onions, courgettes, aubergines, asparagus, teasel, sunflowers, phacelia, sweet peas, chilies, blooming great big Cape gooseberries, more chilies, strawberries. Some of them strawberry plants, tiny little ones, coming on quite well now, like they're growing up. Oh, it doesn't seem 2 minutes since they were tiny little babies. Teasel, I might have said teasel. If I hadn't said teasel, that's teasel. Cosmos. What's that one? Come on, you recognise that one. Godetia. Godisha. Sweet corn's there. Really bad germination on those sweet corn actually. It was some older seeds, so I've only got 6 plants there. It'll still be enough to plant out. I'm not going to be too worried about that. And then the remnants of some more flowers from pricking out that have still made it. And at the bottom, runner beans and French beans. What types have we got? We've got Ferrari and Streamline. Little cherry tomatoes at the minute here, just starting to show evidence of some flowering. What are these? Mini bell. So with these ones there's going to be no pulling out or pricking out or anything like that, because we want to encourage these to turn into a nice bush. Height wise, that's pretty much about as tall as they'll get, and then they'll just start to take on a bit more of a bush form, which is absolutely lovely because the fruits off them are lovely as well. That's the view that a cue ball gets of a snooker player. Anyway. Right then, moving through into the other greenhouse here. We have, these are my Black Beauty, no, Black Magic. What are they? Sunflowers. So yes, hopefully they'll be coming on alright. Well, they are coming on alright, hopefully they'll carry on coming on alright. Lolo Rosso. I'm going to try and grow lettuce just in a pot this size. You know, I think surely that pot will be able to sustain a fairly decent lettuce, and then I'll just whip it off, and then, you know, we're good to go. Kohlrabi there as well. And the rest of my dahlias, obviously I planted some of my dahlias out, but I wasn't sure if the weather was going to catch them, so that's me backup if they do. Bit of a mixed bag in that one. I got some, what we got? Peppers. Yeah, chilies, peppers, all the rest of it. And then some of the overflow on the kale at the back there as well. Kale and cauliflowers, and might even be a broccoli in there as well, I'm guessing there is. And then here we have the gherkins. This is one of the Atlantic Giants, which I've got big hopes for this year. So yeah, cucumbers and gherkins, they're looking alright, nice and healthy. Got no complaints with any of those. Hollyhocks have been repotted today. So we now have 15 hollyhocks, which will be lovely, hopefully. And then moving down, that's the kohlrabi, which has been potted on. They're just a bit small to be putting out just yet, so I'm going to grow those on a bit. A few more of the brassicas at the back there. I've got some curly kale, and whatever this is. Is that stock? I think that's stock, isn't it? And then there you are, Chinese lantern. Yeah, they are. Got an onion here that never made it to planting out. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it, but just for, like, you know, larks, I've put it in there and just put a cane up it, held the leaves up. It's actually probably one of the leaf-wise, one of the biggest ones I've got, but in a little pot like that it'll probably not do anything. This is the Atlantic Giant. Look at the size of those seed leaves coming off of that beauty. Wowie woo wah. That's also thrown out its first true leaf here as well. So they're absolutely flying away. And these are Pacino Gold sunflowers. That is a patty pan. Petit pan. No, patty pan. Patty. It sounds weird when I say it. I'm going to stop saying it. And a couple of marigolds there that have been potted on. Yeah, a few more bits and bobs there. What we got there? Salvia, delphiniums. And then there are the tomatoes that probably won't make it. The pink fir potatoes. I think I missed up an earthing up day, and they've absolutely gone for it. So, you know, I'm not far off the top of the bag with those. So I might just leave it at that and see what they look like in a few weeks. It's been a busy old day. I've not managed to record much of the practical side of things, but hopefully, as you can see, there's still plenty getting done. I think at this time of year in particular, you've got to dedicate, you know, a lot of time to the plot. In the middle of the winter you can get away with, you know, probably not visiting it all some weeks, but at this time of year you've really got to keep on top of things if you want everything to flourish. So, yes. I put some plants down here earlier for the other allotment holders, but I don't know if anyone's been down today. That's what I mean, other people are just not as dedicated as me. It's not fair. I don't know, maybe.